Good morning. I'm Rocky Gilbert, one of the operations chiefs for the Calf and Hermit Peak Fire, here to give you an update for today, June 1st. So we've got really two things going on in the fire. On the east side of the fire, we have repair work going on, and on the west side of the fire, we're still doing a lot of suppression action. So on this east side, we have three groups that are spread out amongst our south zone of the fire, anywhere from up in Gascon, up to Big Pine, and then down into Guyanas Canyon, working on the various repair work. What they're doing is looking for dozer lines, fences, any other damage that was caused specifically by the suppression actions, and they're using heavy equipment and crews to repair that work. There's a written plan that they're following and really trying to meet the guidelines provided by the state of New Mexico and the local U.S. Forest Service to make sure that we can repair that work. So that's going on now. It's going to continue to go on. Those folks are also looking for any more smokes, any reports that we get from the public to try to mop up any of those things as they come about. And that will continue over there for a couple weeks. Moving around to the west side, so the Pecos River Valley, the Highway 63 corridor, still a lot of suppression action going on over there. On this southwest corner, the stuff kind of below Breas Peak, we've finished up securing that yesterday, and they're looking at continuing to do mop-up work, but they feel really good about that's not going to go anywhere anymore, and we're going to be able to start into the repair work over there in the next few days. Moving north on the fire, up towards Bull Canyon, and then up towards Elk Mountain. Those folks are almost finished with their line construction as well, and mopping up and holding that. So we think over the next 2 days they'll probably get that secured, and we'll be able to show some containment in that area as well. And then we'll look at where we can put those resources to start doing any repair work as we move forward as well. Moving into basically the area from Elk Mountain all the way north to Hamilton Mesa. That's where the main part of the fire is right now that we're dealing with. We have a strategy of putting in an indirect line from Elk Mountain down a road system and ridge system using heavy equipment and crews down to close to Torero, and then moving up through towards that Iron Gate, and then we basically hit some trail systems up in the wilderness and move that up towards Beatty's camp. So that's all work that's being done today. They've been working on it for the last few days. The intent is, once we've got that done, I want to move over to the weather matrix that we use and show you that starting on Saturday, we're going to have a west wind. So the wind will be blowing out of the west, and it'll be what we call a favorable wind for these burning operations. And so the intent is over the weekend and with those winds is that we will start burning using aerial ignition up on the ridge tops to get fire backing down off of those ridges. And then we'll have crews down on the ground working to do hand ignitions to try to close that gap and get rid of all the fuel that's still between this fire edge and where we're going to put our control lines in. So that's kind of what we've got going forward over the next few days, is just the prep work to make sure that we can hold that. We've got a structure protection group that's identifying all the homes and infrastructure that could be impacted by those firing operations, and making sure we have a good plan in place to protect all of that. And then we've got a group that's working specifically on developing that firing plan so that we can have a well-coordinated effort once those weather conditions are in our favor. We still have a lot of aircraft supporting those crews, basically doing a little bit of delaying action to up on the fire edge in order to allow us to get those control lines in place. And then we'll have probably both helicopter and UAS to help us with some of those firing operations once that takes place. We'll continue to work with all the resource advisors, loafers, to get repair work done. We're looking at the opportunities to continue to get folks back into their homes as soon as possible. We know that that's something that you all have a concern with, but just know that any of the areas that are close to where these firing operations, we will not let folks back in until we've completed those firing operations and make sure that it's well secured and that we're not going to have any threat to the residents. So we're looking at some very productive days over the next 2 or 3 days, and then those wind event or the winds will be in our favor again over the weekend, and you can expect to see increase in fire activity when that happens as we bring those lines together. That's your update for today. I just want to remind folks that we will be having a public meeting at 6 o'clock tonight, part of our Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule, and that's the end of your brief. Thanks.